Welcome to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
Are we still getting Irish people?
We're getting crazy download. Like, Ireland is now our number 2 country in the world.
No.
Ireland is ahead of almost every single U.S. state.
Ireland.
I don't believe that.
I love that. Ireland, I think we could lean into making this an Irish-centric podcast. I'm committed to learning a new fact about Ireland every single week from here on out. And I will say it out loud. And
randomly, just say it.
That is my new thing. That's my new contribution to the podcast. Every week, I'm going to drop in one factoid or fact, either one. I'm not going to commit to one or the other about Ireland for our Irish listeners who I appreciate, who I have not run off like Kevin has a number of countries that.
Oh, the Scots. Kevin has shat all over the Scots.
Well, people.
I mean, I don't take credit for Alaska. That's Mike's territory.
Well, I stand by that. I mean, that's not a country either. That's a state that's mostly cannibals live there. Cannibals and
right
people who feast off blubber of poor whales and
just clubbing baby seals left and right.
Yeah.
What I'm suggesting, though, is that once the pandemic is over and everybody's been vaccinated, we do a live show in Ireland for our 10 listeners there.
Oh, maybe they could get the money together to fly us over. I mean, I would do the show for free if they just got us there.
The thing about Alaska, why I don't like Alaska, is because it's mostly woodland everywhere. But if you were to say go to, I don't know, Ireland, woodland makes up about 10% of the island compared to with a European average of over 33%, and most of it's native conifer plantations. So
wow, that's mind blowing.
What a fun thing to be able to reel off just the top of your head, Mike.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about how much better Ireland is than Alaska.
Sure. Are there snakes in Alaska?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, okay. Big ones, and some of them even have legs. They're really quick because they have legs.
I think a defining characteristic of a snake, Mike, is that it doesn't have legs. I think that's the number one rule of snakes.
No, because there's a type of lizard called a skink that does not have legs. So it can go either way.
I don't think there is a type of lizard that doesn't have legs. I mean,
I will look this up right now. This I will just to prove it to you. It's not like all these Irish facts that I have in my head.
Right. You got to log into your terminal legless right now.
Lizard. I put legless L and it just lizard popped up.
Well, their legs grow back, don't they? If you rip them off.
Well, let me tell you about this. Legless lizard may refer to any of several groups of lizards that have independently lost limbs or reduced them to the point of being no use in locomotion. Sort of like Greg Abbott, our Texas governor. These lizards are often distinguishable from snakes on the basis of one or more of the following characteristics. Possessing eyelids. Did you know that? Lizards have eyelids and snakes don't. Possessing external ear openings. For instance, your wife, Brian, she possesses external ear openings.
You're saying that she may or may not be a lizard then?
No, I'm just comparing two things, and that's a weird thing you're making there.
It's a weird comparison you're making, but okay.
Well,
I'm just clarifying.
All right.
I mean, look, if the only way I describe my wife was that she has external ear openings, you would be fair in assuming that I might be talking about a lizard.
I'm trying to, I know that you live in a bit of a sheltered world, and I want you to be I'm trying to draw a picture for you, just, external ear openings. You know what? You have them too. But I doubt you looking at yours.
So Brian is or is not a lizard person, much like the royal family.
We're talking about
really
snakes.
confused.
We're talking about legless snakes, notched rather than forked tongues, having 2 more or less equal lungs. Well, so in that case, I might be a snake because one of my lungs isn't as good as the other one, or having a very long tail, while snakes have a long body and a short tail.
Those are good snake facts. Thank you. And lizard facts.
No, those are lizard facts. Those were not snake. Well, I guess it kind of,
by virtue of being a lizard fact, it's also a snake fact. And I apologize that I doubted that there was such a thing as a legless lizard. I've been corrected.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I know that's really important to you.
Well, I mean, I care about only a couple things, and that's herpetology, which means reptiles. Get your fucking heads out of the gutter.
The weird gutter.
I care about herpetology. I care about NFTs, and I care about Ireland.
So do they have lizards in Ireland?
No.
Oh. So no lizards or snakes?
No.
What about salamanders?
Well, those aren't lizards. Those are amphibians.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So they have amphibians in Ireland.
I think that they probably have whatever they want because they are a developed nation and they can bring in whatever they want.
Yeah, they have zoos.
They have zoos.
Do you think they have bogs in Ireland?
Oh boy, yes.
Okay. That's a strong affirmative for the bogs.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's witches. Maybe, I don't know. Lore would state that there are witches in these bogs.
Are they witches or banshees? Banshees are Irish, right?
No, banshees aren't witches. They're totally different, Brian.
Okay, I like where this is going. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Banshees are dead witches.
Sort of. I'll give you that. But if you hear the cry of a banshee, you're going to die. Or somebody in your family's going to die.
Welcome to the bog, baby. You're going to die.
Chilling. It gives me chills, Mike.
Yeah. That's what that song's about.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess probably to an Irish person, their bog is a lot like a jungle.
And you're gonna die.
That's what a banshee sounds like.
Yeah,
Well, do we have any news stories that we can share with our Irish friends?
Yeah, let's.
And also that we can exclude our Alaskan enemies from listening to.
Oh, I only had Alaskan stories this week.
There are good people in Alaska.
Well, as long as we're mocking.
No, they were very pro Alaska, all about stories of victory and gold.
Yeah, well, that's what you would call fake news then.
Hey, wait.
Not real. Boy, I sure would never. I would love to know. I'm sorry. I have to apologize for saying that because I would love to never hear those two words together. Ever.
Right.
Immediately, the people that were saying it thought they were real clever by saying it.
Wait, but I was the one who said that.
You were the first one to say that?
You invented it. Yeah.
You invented it?
I might have been.
It's very talk to the hand and too much information.
What's up?
Yeah. There you go.
Now.
There you go. Yeah. And hopefully there's never a time, well, I'm sure that I will be on my deathbed and the last thing I will hear is somebody thinking they're going to bring it back and it's somehow funny. And I'm just that will be what pushes me over.
I'm going to be that guy.
Sometime next week.
Last time you'll hear is me whispering, what's up?
It is.
And then like
awful.
Right as you fade out, I'll go, remember from the Budweiser commercial? Like I'll be halfway through the word commercial.
That's right.
And you'll ascend.
That's
And I'll just like look around the room and go, I was trying to make him laugh.
That's right. Jeez. Tough room.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're conspiring to make sure I go out the worst way possible.
I'm like a mix of Dr. Kevorkian and Patch Adams is kind of what I want to be. Right as I am injecting, I'm also honking a little clown horn.
Right.
People have the right to decide what kind of hilarity they want to die to. I've always said this.
I'm imagining somebody, an old man in a hospice, just barely hanging on. And a brief glimmer in his eye as he sees Mike walk around the corner holding a rubber chicken.
Yeah.
The big white lab coat. Ready to get the show on the road.
A well-timed whoopee cushion gag right as you inject that last CC.
Ball, yeah, you walk in. Anyway, as Mike was saying, I think it's time that we focus on what people are here for, and that's the news.
Welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with...
I am Brian Camp.
And my name is Mike Wiebe, and somehow not having left yet behind the bat signals worth of computers, monitors on top of monitors on top of monitors, in-ear monitors, as well as external visual monitors. Why? Who is that? The one, the only winner of the 1997 Survivor Naked on an Island competition, Mark Ryan.
Hey, guys.
There he is.
There he is. All right.
There's a new policy that I'm starting this week. There's not going to be any more accents allowed. So,
damn.
We have overstayed our welcome on the accents.
We've gotten way too much, negative feedback on that, and I think that's really, it's really upsetting everybody.
It was her favorite part.
Yeah, I'm gonna send y'all a PDF of the memo about this, and I need you to sign that.
What's a PDF?
Yeah, I need you to sign that and then scan it and send back to me so that we all have that.
Of it?
Yeah,
he's been a real HA about it, a real hard ass.
Why would you do the initials and then say it, Mike?
Because I think in this scenario, when I say HA and then say hard ass, it because it's not written down. Like if I was writing it down, I would write H *** D A **S. But I could, I'm not writing it down. Hey, you know what's funny though is when you write asterisks in the word asshole, it looks like there's little assholes inside the word asshole.
Oh,
ever think about that?
Just blew my mind.
And how come you park on a driveway?
Whoa!
Drive on a parkway.
That's funny. That's really funny.
I can't wait to get on stage with all this material I've been writing.
That's right. Did you write that down somewhere?
I never write anything down. I'm like Jay-Z. I remember I just off the dome and I remember everything. I'm like Mary Lou Henner in that I can have photographic memory and a great ass. And I'm like Jay-Z in that I only take one take when I'm in the booth.
Do you know what I wish, though? I wish I could hear what Mary Lou Henner sounds like, but it's been made very clear to us that is no longer possible.
I do a killer MLH impression.
Let's hear it.
I can't.
Impressions are different than accents.
What?
Listen to all these rules we have now.
Aren't impressions just inherently worse than an accent, though? If we're talking about upsetting people, I guess we would only be upsetting the person we're impersonating versus the entire region that we're copying.
We don't want to lose Mary Lou Henner as a listener, but I think it's worth it to hear Mike's Mary Lou Henner. I'm sorry, Mary Lou.
No, I disagree. I think that an impression is a very, very, very specific accent.
No,
and I also think it's weird that you can drive on a parkway and you can park on a driveway. Like what? Who made these rules up? I don't know.
It's a zany world, Mike. It's really zany.
And also Zanies is the club that I'll be performing these jokes at.
Zanies. Surely there's a comedy club called Zanies somewhere.
Yo, there's a chain. Yes. There's literally a chain called Zanies. Yeah.
Zanies. Is it Zanies or Zanees?
Zanies.
Okay. Well, they're correct. I think that's the way to spell Zanies.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they're serious about comedy and grammar.
That's right.
And chicken wings.
Oh, well, that's good.
We should get to a story, though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we do here, right?
Our first story comes from the Daily Record, which is a Scottish newspaper.
Ooh, you hate the Scots.
Ooh, great.
The Falkirk Council area of Scotland. I guess I should point out a council area is kind of like a county. There's 32 of them in Scotland.
Well, how many counties are there?
I don't know I couldn't figure out if they had counties or what the difference between a council area and a county was. It's very complicated. It's very Scottish.
Ireland has counties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like Cork.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of them. Anyway, but we're not in glorious, beautiful Ireland. We're in dreary, angry Scotland.
Yeah.
The Falkirk Council area of Scotland has recently been terrified by sightings of a 17th century plague doctor. The first sighting occurred in the village of Bowness, but the plague doctor has...
Wait, what?
Bowness.
How do you spell that?
B-O... Well, it's not... It's okay, so it's actually... It has a longer name. They call it Bowness, but the name is actually Burrow-Stunis.
Oh, Burrow-Stunis. Okay, yeah.
But so totally. They just... It's B-O apostrophe...
South, it's on the south side, yeah.
N-E-S-S. But
yeah, I didn't...
when I say Bowness, just think Burrow-Stunis.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry to confuse you like
That's
that.
That's cool. I got it.
So the first sighting occurred in the village of Bowness.
And Burrow-Stunis.
Yep. That's what it is.
But the plague doctor has also been spotted in Grangemouth and Reading, but not the English Reading. This is Scotland.
Got to go to the dock for Grangemouth. My cousin had Grangemouth.
Yeah, it's from eating too many Sour Patch Kids.
Yep. Yep. He had Grangemouth in the lower right and then on his tongue. Real problem. It's weird they would name a city in Scotland after that disease.
Yeah, don't eat too many Sour Patch Kids and don't dip chewing tobacco.
Wow.
Yep.
So, Plague Doctor, you're talking about the traditional, it almost looks like a bird mask, right?
Yeah, the bird mask.
And is this, and also I feel like in the pictures I've seen or the drawings, the Plague Doctor also wears a sort of a gown.
Yeah, kind of.
A robe, gown.
Like a nightgown?
I think a gown is probably more correct.
Like a silky nightgown with a teddy underneath. Sexy teddy underneath.
So it's go to Halloween. This Halloween, it's all the rage. Sexy Plague Doctor.
Sexy Plague Doctor. Why did they? Oh, and I know. I think I remember why they look like a bird. Is because they would stuff like sage or something at the end of that.
Stuff like good smelling. Because the belief was that you would get the disease, the plague, from like bad smells. So they would have that bird's beak, and they would stuff like things that smelled good, like sage and flowers and stuff down there, and then you'd be breathing in good
Sour
air.
Patch Kids.
Yeah, right now, I bet what they put in there now is probably just a little dash of Stetson cologne. Stetson cologne. Smell like a horse, act like a man, look like a bird. Stetson cologne.
Pretty sure we're about to get them as a sponsor now.
Well, we've been in talks, so
I'm talking to them.
Yeah.
So, terrified residents launched an online campaign urging whoever was doing this to stop.
Oh, however, yeah, that sounds like that'll work. That's what always works. An online campaign just saying, "Hey, person having fun, stop having fun."
Right. The thing you were enjoying about this is working, so please stop.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the thing. You know how you're out there trying to get attention? Well, it's working, so you're not going to want to do it anymore, right?
I mean, the article doesn't make it clear that this doctor wasn't offering medical services. They may have been providing like a good bleeding, maybe.
Well, if it's a 17th century plague doctor, isn't this a ghost? That's what's got me a little confused.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
Well,
that was at least 100 years ago.
No, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's like 20 is like 200 years ago, 1700.
Yeah, at least.
We're 2020. Yeah. So it's 200 years ago.
So it's either a really old man or woman.
I guess it could be.
But probably a ghost.
Yeah.
If it's 200, I doubt it's a person, but it could
be like a cyborg kept alive, more machine now than man, twisted and evil.
That's Darth Vader.
They look like fucking Darth Vader. They totally look like Darth Vader. I'm not wrong.
Just to be clear, I just want to make sure I heard that correctly. You were saying Darth Vader. Is that right?
Yeah, they look like Darth Vader if Darth Vader got his pointy nose cut off and it was just a little grate there. Because in the future, I guess they don't need to put beaks on stuff. There are no birds in the Star Wars movies. Did you ever notice that?
You know what?
What about porgs?
They can't fly. They're not birds.
Yeah, they're mammals.
They're mammals on that planet.
And if they could fly, they'd still be mammals.
Sometimes mammals can fly. They're not birds.
Ever heard of a bat?
Yeah. You ever heard of a sugar glider?
Those aren't birds.
They're not birds. And I'm actually recently started taking care of them. And I have a little bit of a side hustle where I sell sugar gliders, which I want to do an ad later in the episode for it. But let's move on. Let's get to this story.
Well, to answer your question about who it was, Falkirk police recently located the individual responsible and spoke with him, announcing they had identified the plague doctor as a local male youth and, quote, have offered appropriate advice to him.
Kevin.
What?
Jesus, Kevin.
Yeah, we're not doing accents.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. How would someone from Ohio say it?
Well, they wouldn't be in Scotland, for one thing.
It's strict travel ban for Ohioans.
Keep out the riffraff.
Mm-hmm.
They identified it, the plague doctor, as a local male youth and have offered appropriate advice to him. No, police added there have been no reports of any criminal activity regarding this incident.
You can't arrest someone for being fucking cool, you know?
Yeah.
You can't arrest, and you've seen a t-shirt that I wear all the time that says cosplaying is not a crime. Well, it's true. It's a factual statement. You know, you can't arrest me for dressing up like Darth Vader. You cannot arrest me for dressing up like Chewbacca. You cannot address me for dressing up like Boba Fett or Jango Fett or Mandalorian Fett. Mandalorian, he's not a Fett, but everybody knows that. I was just saying Fett a bunch. And I'm just saying, like, you can't arrest me for being cool. You cannot arrest me for dressing up like Speed Racer and being cool. You can't arrest me. And legally, you can't even make fun of me.
Why can't I make fun of you?
Because I'm fucking cool. And because I have, these are, you know, and if you're making fun of me, you're making fun of the Star Wars franchise as a whole, and you're making fun of something that is made literally $1 million. So...
Wow.
Yeah.
So
what are they going to
think
do
about
with
what
all
you're
that money?
doing. That's all I have to say to anybody out here that is going to mock me if I'm dressed like a Padawan or if I'm dressed like a Jawa. And I know it's silly. Jawas aren't as tall. I'm way taller than a Jawa. But
You're
guess
like
what?
2.5 Jawas.
I'm like 2.5 Jawas. But guess what? That's the fun of cosplaying. It's the one time I really get to be me. I like the sewing part. I like interacting with the cosplay community.
Do you ever cosplay as two Jawas, one standing on the shoulders of the other, like trying to get into...
Yeah, and then I try to get into go see Porky's in the theater.
Does it work?
Yeah, they really just kind of want to get paid. In fact, they seem kind of annoyed by the whole thing of it because I try and talk with, you know, Jawa, like...
It's a pretty good Jawa, Mike.
Thank you.
Not awful.
And they'll say like, all right, how many tickets you want? And I'll go like 2, and then I'll just like act real confused and just go 1, you know, as if I'm like, because I like to do a whole thing with it. And I'll be honest with you, the people down at the AMC Galaxy are humorless.
Mm-hmm.
They're not fun. I mean, I've never gotten kicked out, but they're not fun. They don't want to interact. I tried to pay the guy that does the sodas to say no blasters, and he wouldn't. He was just such a dick.
How much did you offer him?
8 Bitcoins.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's like $200,000.
I mean, maybe this was a long time ago, maybe?
No, it was recently, but
okay.
I mean, he worked at the AMC Galaxy Highland. I don't think he knew what Bitcoins were.
I don't think the Galaxy Highland is associated with AMC.
Well, I did also offer him the money in Huttese. So he's probably just didn't know it.
Just didn't understand. Yeah.
That sounds like that's more his problem.
Yuba Komorado Kamawalpa Bais Kachum Kawawuki. And he just looked at me like an asshole.
Right. Because you know he's probably never heard something that cool from a customer before. right? It's not like
I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it. They're not used to like like A-listy celeb, local, also international type entertainers rolling in there. They're not used to that kind of thing,
I think it's interesting to try to appear as though you are not appropriate for the thing you're trying to do.
It's called being multifaceted. And in this day and age, you cannot be just one thing. You have to be able to sing. You have to be able to dance. You have to be able to edit. You have to be able to film. You just have to be, it's not enough to just be one thing anymore. And right. I've taken that idea to, cosplay territory. I'll do a thing where I'll dress up like Darth Vader, and then I'll pull off my helmet and I'll have Pinhead. I'll have the Pinhead from Hellraiser. And it's shit.
Wow,
yeah. Did you ever think about that?
No, that's
because they are similar from the neck down. They are similar outfits, Mm-hmm. And I'll just pull off the little Darth Vader like electrode box. Guess what's there? The Hellraiser box.
Oh, it's like a mashup kind of.
We call it a mix-up in the cosplay community.
Okay, wow. I'm. You know what? I've learned something today. Thank you for that, Mike.
Yeah, it's nice because we gave news to the people and they learned something about the news, and you guys learned something about me.
Yeah,
it changes everything.
Another thing.
Yeah, we're
me.
Lucky us. Mm-hmm. Lucky us.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Why don't we get to the next news story?
Yeah.
If we could.
So our next story comes to us from mlive.com, a website that compiles news stories from newspapers across Michigan.
Oh, wow. Somebody's getting rich.
A man in Michigan's Upper Peninsula recently awoke at 4:14 a.m. to find another man pointing a gun at his head and demanding the man's 2 pet cats. The man with the gun then took one of the pet cats before leaving. This cat burglar was located by police a short time later.
This sounds very much like the MLives, the witty
Michigan.
It was their line. It wasn't my line.
I know. I'm clear on that.
I don't want you to use an accent, Kevin, but if you could say cat burglar sardonically and as though you had just come up with the most clever thing ever, I would really appreciate that. Kind of I
think I can do that. All right.
Cat. Yeah. You know where I'm going. Okay.
You gotta do some stretching here, but I think I can. This cat burglar was located by police a short time later and was booked on charges of home invasion and felonious assault.
Now, how did they catch this guy? I guess back at his house.
There's not a whole lot of details about the actual arrest, so I can tell you, and I did some research, but at this point, police have not revealed the names of either the suspect or the victim, but said they believe the suspect knew the cat owner. Police have also not revealed whether they located the cat that was stolen. The suspect lived in a nearby village and was 52 years old, but that's all the information I have.
He lives in a village?
Yeah, do they have villages? I'm confused things about Michigan. One, that there are villages. Two, that there are peninsulas.
Well, because Michigan's in 2 parts. You got the mitten part, and then you got the Upper Peninsula. It's like a little triangle. Oh, big triangle.
Youpers, they call them. Youpers.
Yeah. I think the Upper Peninsula is mineral rich, but I don't think a lot of people live there.
It's a forested region, I believe.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't know much about Michigan, but I do know that in Ireland, following the 12th century, the Anglo-Norman invasion, England claimed sovereignty. However, the English rule did not extend over the whole island until the 16th or 17th century.
It sounds like the Irish are real fighters, Mike.
Yep, not like the Michigans.
A lot to be admired in Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Referring to the English in relation to Ireland, could you call them the hated English?
I will call them the hated English. And I also think that, while they do have the English language there, Irish and Gaelic culture has spawned things such as football, rugby, horse racing, and golf.
Why do I feel like you're just reading a Wikipedia page?
No, I mean, no, they probably have used some of these facts in Wikipedia. I would be surprised if they hadn't, but
I mean, a lot of Wikipedia articles do cite this podcast for their source.
Yeah, and me personally.
Well, I think it's all important that we take a moment just to thank the Irish for sharing their rich cultural history with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Riverdance, that's Irish, right? Thanks for Michael Flaherty.
And Joe Flaherty, too.
Okay, sure.
Star of SCTV.
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably of Irish ancestry.
He's Michael's brother.
I didn't know that, Mike. I didn't know that. Okay.
So this guy stole a kitty, and they caught him, and he stole it at gunpoint.
He tried to steal 2 kitties. He only got away with 1.
So these men were lovers, correct?
It's a real Sophie's choice.
It is not made clear in the article or any follow-up site.
He definitely knew him. Because cats, I don't think cats are worth money.
They were in Tiger King.
He got me there.
Technically correct is the best kind of correct you can be, right?
I like making a reference everybody was sick of a year ago.
Yeah, I was about to say. Thanks for that,
That's right.
So for our next story.
Okay.
Our next story is from Sun Journal, which is a paper in Lewiston, Maine. And the title is Maine May Allow Viking-Style Funeral Pyres.
Oh, cool.
Currently, outdoor cremations, which happen when bodies are cremated on a bed of timber as a means of sending off the dead, are still widely practiced in some parts of the world, but outlawed in most of the U.S.
Yeah, those are cool. You know who got cremated like that? A little guy named Dark Vader. Full circle. Fuck you.
Who are you saying fuck you to?
Just the world.
So happy. You were so excited about
just
that.
The goddamn world.
I don't think we can end it right there. Is the problem.
All right. A nonprofit cemetery group in Maine called Good Ground, Great Beyond was formed in 2018 in the hopes of changing that. The group has gotten a bill before Maine's legislature that would allow a nonprofit that possesses at least 20 acres to carry out open-air cremations one at a time and to scatter the ashes on the property.
So, hey, Kevin, what's the name of this place?
Good Ground, Great Beyond.
And where was Pet Cemetery set?
Oh, it was set in Maine.
And what was wrong with the ground?
It was bad ground.
It was bad ground.
Had it gone?
Micmac Indians used to live up there.
Had the ground gone sour?
The ground gone sour.
Wait, why is everybody allowed to do an accent but me?
This isn't an accent. This is an impression of Fred Gwynn.
That's right. I feel like Herman Munster's right here with us.
Lily!
Oh, man, I can just see him scheming with Grandpa in the basement right now. Well, I just wonder, I'm curious if Good Ground is a reference to the ground being sour, famously, according to Fred Gwynn, in Maine.
Gone sour.
Gone sour.
I don't know that, but I can tell you the group's founder expressed that she hopes to have her own open-air cremation when her time comes, calling it a natural way to bring together earth and sky, the seen and the unseen.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, see, you know what? I thought I was so on board with everything until this hippie ruined it with the earth and sky, the seen and the unseen. It's like, witches. They're supposed to be cool and magical and scary, but it's barefoot ladies dancing in the most weird squat way around a fire. It's like way to make something not cool is just talk like that. But I will say this. I applaud the fact that she's down to get this done, but if she really wanted to connect the earth and the sky, here's what you do. You go funeral pyre, light it on fire, and then at the moment where you're just bones, you're just down to bones, you hit a thing and it's actually a catapult. It just shoots you up, flaming and all the like. That is the way to do it. That's the
probably
way.
A harder permit to get.
If I were going to die, but I'm not because I have a magic amulet, that's how I would go.
So I'm going to be honest with you for a second. I felt like this was somehow going to tie back into our Lich creation conversation. But I'm more curious now about your magic amulet, where you got it.
I haven't mentioned.
What does it look like, and what is it supposed to do? I've not.
I don't know if you guys have heard of the Milesians. They were also called the Gaels in Ireland. They were said to have reached Ireland from either northern Liberia or southern Gaul. And it was claimed that during the second wave, named the Inuri, belonging to the Belgi people of northern Gaul. And they began coming up there around the 6th century. And they were said to have changed the name of the island. And anyway, it's an Irish amulet. Long story short, it's an Irish amulet. I believe that it's making me immortal and invulnerable.
So you just decided this was
invulnerable to lava. I have not tested this, and I don't feel any reason to, but I'm going to keep wearing the amulet.
So you've never tested this out?
No, not yet. But if I could afford to go to Hawaii, I would be there right now. Okay, I wouldn't be having to slum it on this podcast. I'd be in Hawaii.
Well, and there we go. There.
Ouch!
You finally said it.
So Maine isn't the first state to consider outdoor cremations. Colorado authorizes 2 sites to perform outdoor cremations, and the Missouri legislature passed an open-air cremation law in 2019, but the state's governor vetoed it.
I have that in common with Maine. Yeah. I hate their governor, and I hate our governor here in Texas.
And Missouri?
It's the show me state.
Missouri.
Yeah. Show me the burning corpse.
Yeah.
Governor.
Show me your tits.
That's their old slogan.
Yeah.
No, it's just the show me state.
That's why I don't like them.
That's right. You can't find old license plates from Missouri, and that's why they bought them all up.
The show me your tits state.
Yep. They all said.
So in the U.S., less than 12 outdoor cremations are performed each year.
That we know about.
Well, I mean...
Is it still a cremation if you're just hiding the body?
I mean, it's a cremation by definition.
Okay.
But it's an illegal cremation.
What about if you get rid of the body in lava?
Also cremation, I believe.
Okay.
You know who else got lava on them? Darth Vader. Full circle. Full circle. That's like a double full circle.
So Maine is already the nation's leader in cremations, with about 3/4 of Mainers opting for cremation as a less expensive alternative to burial.
I'm sorry. Cremation just seems very eco-unfriendly to me. Seems like you're putting a lot of stuff in the air.
Yeah, and in my technique, you're putting the whole body in the air, and it's cool.
Well, I mean, but we have covered the idea of turning yourself into mulch on this show. So why aren't these people just mulching themselves?
Well, it's not legal in Maine to mulch yourself.
Well, why aren't they fighting for mulch?
Well,
that's
they're
what I want to know.
Because they're cool. Because they're cool.
They want to. Some people want to go like the Vikings, the Buddhists, the Hindus,
the Darth Vader.
So the hippie lady who is pushing for this, in your words, Michael Wiebe, is cool.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I don't think maybe a broken clock is right twice a day, but this act that she's looking for is cool. Maybe Stephen King wants to do it.
Does he live in Maine?
Yeah,
I think he lives in Maine. Bangor. How do you say it?
Well, that's a throwback. I don't even know that that's from a recorded episode.
Somebody knows about. No one knows about Bangor.
Yeah. Bang.
Lost to the winds.
Collector's item.
Oh yeah.
Almost as good as a Doctor Strange comic.
No, it's not.
No, don't.
Stupid. That's rude. I'm starting to get a tone, and I hope I'm not picking it up, but I don't. We'll discuss it in the meeting.
No, do you want to talk about it? Because we can talk about it
in the meeting tomorrow.
All right, we'll talk about it in the meeting. Next story.
Our last story comes to us from the Daily Star, which is a newspaper in the UK. And the title is Sex Robot Clones of Dead Partners Created with 3D Scans.
People droids.
Oh, these are people droids.
These are people droids.
Some people who've lost loved ones to COVID-19 are apparently buying sex dolls to help ease their pain. And a company called Luxbotics is capitalizing on this. The company says it produces a standard model, ultra-realistic humanoid that features speech control, a facial recognition function, and artificial intelligence capabilities. However, Luxbotics now offers customizations for customers who want to recreate a more familiar companion like a loved one.
I would call it Lux Buttocks for my lover, and they would be supple.
Ooh.
Well, they create more than just buttocks. The company.
Why?
Yeah, that's the point. Not what I need them for. Can I just get the buttocks?
That's right.
I think you could probably get that for a discount.
Yeah.
Do you guys use the hard "ock" in buttock, or do you buttock?
I think I've always said buttock, but I might switch because I think buttock is maybe more fun.
Buttock is better.
I think it's a lot more fun if you go hard.
More Forrest Gump to say buttock.
Buttocks.
Yeah, I didn't really. I mean,
that kind of turns me off. That 30-year-old reference that. For a movie nobody's seen anymore.
Well, you just don't say it like you're a silly Alabaman.
I think maybe losing that accent. Buttock.
And it occurred on his right buttock.
Right buttock.
His right buttock. I would like to order just the buttock, sir.
Buttock.
Well, it's buttocks. It's plural, so each buttock must be a cheek.
Yeah.
Right? You have two.
Buttocks.
Mm-hmm.
Buttocks?
No, buttocks.
Buttocks.
Two buttocks. You have a left buttock and a right buttock equaling buttocks.
Buttocks. That's Darth Vader. That's Darth Vader saying buttocks. Darth Vader.
Okay. How does he say it again?
Buttocks. Just take their buttocks. I want them alive.
Guest appearance by James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
No, he's just real old.
No.
Yes, if he's not dead, I assume that he's real old. I don't know.
He gets younger every year.
No, he's getting younger.
I had no idea.
He's younger than we are.
He's got opposite progeria.
Oh, man. Lucky him.
So the company collects photos of individuals to create a sophisticated 3D scan, and then a mold is built, which has a robotic skeleton placed inside it, around which a latex model is printed. The robot is then painted and fitted with lips, nails, eyebrows, and other features. Well, they only have women on the website. They only have one woman on the website.
Oh, really?
That's so weird.
That's so weird.
It's weird.
It's so weird that that women are less interested in buying their male counterpart a just rubberized version of their male counterparts.
Right.
They're robotic. They're robotic.
Whatever. Right. It's almost like women not as stupid as men. They're less prone to depravity.
I wouldn't say that.
I would.
Maybe less prone to disgusting, unhealthy depravity.
I'll just say they're not as stupid as men when it comes to depravity.
I think we're all getting to the same thing. Just in a way. I don't want to judge anyone's depravity as disgusting or not disgusting, but it is unhealthy, I think. I think this is the opposite of dealing with your pain.
There's no way around this that you are not moving in a mentally healthy direction if you do this.
You know, related to that, one co-founder felt great sympathy for his customers, saying, and I'm going to tell you right now, I had a voice for this guy. His name is Louis Love, and he makes sex dolls. There's only one way this guy can sound.
As long as it's not an accent. If it's
if it's
a voice, I think.
So he said, some lost partners due to COVID and want a doll to aid with the grieving process. So it's rewarding to be part of that kind of healing process, and we're genuinely helping people. Many people who wouldn't normally even think of dolls as an option have turned their attention towards dolls.
Yeah, that's I'm.
There's only one way that.
Yeah, that's
the right voice.
Sure.
Yeah,
he definitely, when people are getting the dolls made, he consoles them while smoking a big old stogie. Like, I'm sorry for your loss.
He's got a pastrami sandwich in one hand.
Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry for the loss of those 2 mud flaps. But don't worry, we'll get you something just as good as they ever was. Maybe they'll even be more firmer.
You want to take a Lona, kick the tires?
Yeah. Just wash her out before you give her back. Do you have a hose that shoots warm water? Because that's all you need.
So the cost of these dolls will vary, but the range is $5,000 to $10,000 for one 3D scan, another $5,000 for the body mold, and then printing the doll would cost an additional $3,000 to $5,000.
So what, like 80,000 total?
It'd probably be the cost of like a low end new car, about $13,000 to $20,000. Well, as the only one here who's single, I will say, like, I feel like if you purchase something, especially partially because it's so
my
expensive,
birthday's coming up, and
but I don't like this is the end of your sex life. There's no if I don't want an inanimate object to spend my life with, and I feel like this kind of investment would lead to that.
Right, kind of like a sunken cost thing. Well, I could go on a date, but man, I spent all that money on the doll.
Yeah.
No, I think that
you think about how much money you spend on a bunch of dates over the course of a lifetime, and it's a bargain.
Right, you'd be a fool not to get the doll.
And I just have to, I get in the programming, and I put sass mouth down to 0.
But yeah, so just imagine you meet somebody and it's going really well, and you bring her over and she's like, "Oh, what is this?" And she opens a closet door, and inside there is a full-grown woman that's just your rubber sex doll.
It's maybe not a deal breaker, but it definitely puts things.
I think that's a deal breaker.
So this is maybe not fair, but like I feel like there's a lot of making fun of the sex doll. At some point in my life, whenever a story about something like this comes up, and there's that movie, whatever, I always end up kind of feeling sorry for the person who has the sex doll. That just seems like a real, like you're right. Given that step, the affirmative step to call your mom, get your credit card number, get online, make the purchase, arrange shipping. Tell your neighbor, hey, there might be a package on the porch. Please get it, but don't open it.
Yeah.
Don't cover the air holes, but also don't open it.
Right. Yeah, it's going to smell like latex, but just, and you air it out in the house.
But yeah, I feel like once you've committed to this, you've committed to never having an adult relationship ever again.
I mean, how do you get rid of it now? Right?
You
don't leave it in the woods.
Say that. You can't say that. People told me when I committed to my Doctor Strange collection that I was committed to not having
God damn it
a relationship, but it's not the case.
See, you're right there again. This is what
I'm not allowed to pull out my Doctor Stranges at home, but I'm allowed to have them. I'm allowed to talk about them.
Yeah, yes, you talk about them a lot. You talk about them a lot, Mike.
They're worth a lot of money.
God damn it.
That wraps up another week of the International News Service. Feel free to email us at internationalnewspod@gmail.com, and we'll see you next week.